There's a familiar feeling to the holidays. The warmth of the kitchen, laughter echoing through a full house. Kids playing, giddy with excitement. It's a time we all connect with safety, comfort, and family. But beneath this festive scene, another, more tragic rhythm plays out. A predictable and heartbreaking spike in emergencies that has nothing to do with travel accidents or cooking fires. While millions of us gather, a hidden danger turns moments of celebration into lifelong grief. It isn't the turkey or the travel, it's an unlocked gun in another room. Unintentional shootings surge during the holiday season. And this isn't some freak occurrence, it's a pattern. And understanding it is the first step to breaking it. The holiday paradox. It feels like a contradiction, doesn't it? A time of year for peace and goodwill is also a peak season for one of the most preventable kinds of tragedy. But the data is clear and sobering. For years, organizations that track gun violence, like Brady and the Associated Press, have pointed out that the weeks around Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's see a major spike in unintentional shootings. Just to be clear, we're not talking about homicides or taking yourself out, which make up most gun deaths. This is about what safety advocates call family fire, a shooting that involves an improperly stored or misused gun in the home. Every year in the United States, around 500 people die from unintentional firearm injuries, and tens of thousands more are wounded. And while gun violence has thankfully seen some decline from pandemic-era highs, the factors that cause these accidental shootings are still with us, and they get supercharged during the holidays. It's a public health crisis hiding in plain sight, wrapped in festive paper. So why does this happen? What turns a season of joy into a flashpoint for accidental shootings? The answer is a perfect storm of circumstances that comes together right in our living rooms. Let's talk about the anatomy of a holiday tragedy. To get why this happens, you have to look at how the holidays change our environment and our behavior. It's not just one thing, but a combination of 5 key elements that create a massive spike in risk. First, and most simple, more people are home. Holidays mean family gatherings and crowded houses, and the data is crystal clear. The home is the most common place for unintentional shootings. More than 70% of unintentional shootings by children happen in a house. The more people in a home where a gun is present, the higher the odds of an accident. Second, kids are out of school. During the holidays and summer vacations, there's a well-documented surge in unintentional shootings by children. Kids are curious. They explore. And when they're in a new place like a relative's house they visit once a year, that curiosity leads them to closets, drawers, and under beds, exactly where guns are often kept. An estimated 4.6 million children in America live in homes with at least one unlocked and loaded firearm. And tragically, the data shows a deeply disturbing trend. Since 2015, there have been a notable rise in shootings perpetrated by toddlers and preschoolers. Third, there's access. The first 2 factors only become dangerous when a firearm is accessible. The single most critical element in nearly every one of these tragedies is a gun that isn't locked up. According to the CDC report, in fatal incidents involving children, the firearms were often stored loaded, 74%, and unlocked, 76%. State-level data makes this point powerful. States with secure storage laws which hold gun owners responsible for keeping their firearms locked up have drastically lower rates of unintentional child shootings compared to states that don't have those laws. Fourth, we have to talk about alcohol. Holiday parties often mean drinking, which impairs judgment and slows reaction time. Handling a firearm requires total focus and sobriety. When you add alcohol to a crowded, chaotic house where there's also an unsecured gun, the risk of a catastrophic mistake skyrockets. Finally, there's a holiday gun sale surge. The FBI often reports record background checks for firearm purchases on Black Friday. right at the start of the season. More guns coming into homes, especially with first-time owners who might not be familiar with safety rules. Just adds to the overall risk. When you mix these 5 things, more people, kids out of school, unsecured guns and alcohol, and more gun sales, the holiday paradox starts to make a terrifying kind of scene. Statistics can feel abstract, so let's make this real. Picture a family's Thanksgiving. The house smells like turkey, the football game is on, aunts, uncles, and cousins are all catching up. A bunch of kids, from toddlers to teens, are running around playing hide and seek. In a back bedroom, someone keeps a handgun in the nightstand for protection. He's a responsible owner, he thinks, but today, with all the commotion, he forgot to lock it up. It didn't even cross his mind. A 7-year-old looking for the perfect hiding spot slips into the quiet bedroom. He's never been in there before. He opens a closet, looks under the bed, and then his eyes land on the nightstand. He pulls the drawer open. Inside, he finds the gun. To him, it's just like the ones in the movies or video games. It's heavy, it's interesting. 5-year-old cousin runs in to find him. What happens next is a blur of confusion, a loud noise, and a sudden, piercing silence that cuts through the entire house. This story isn't from one Pacific news report. It's a composite built from the tragic details of hundreds of real incidents tracked by organizations like Everytown for Gun Safety. It's a story of a child finding a gun and shooting a sibling or a friend. It's a story that repeats with heartbreaking regularity in homes across America every holiday season. And the victims are most often children themselves. These aren't accidents like a lightning strike that are predictable, which means they are preventable. If you believe this information is critical for every family to hear, take a moment to subscribe and support our channel. We're committed to exploring tough issues with facts, and your support makes that work possible. What are the solutions to a safer holiday? The good news in all of this is that preventing these tragedies is surprisingly straightforward. It doesn't require political debate, it just needs a practical conversation about safety. The same way we talk about not drinking and driving or putting a fence around a pool, the solution boils down to a few simple non-negotiable actions. First and foremost, secure firearm storage. This is a gold standard, the single most effective way to prevent a gun from getting into the wrong hands. Secure storage means all guns are stored, locked, unloaded, and separate from the ammunition. This could be a gun safe, a lockbox, or just a cable lock. The method is less important than the principle, making the weapon impossible for a child or anyone else to fire. Second thing, we need to normalize asking about gun storage. For parents, this can feel awkward, but it shouldn't be. When you drop your child off at a friend's or relative's house, it is perfectly okay to ask, hey, just doing our safety check, are there any guns in the house? And if so, are they stored securely? You can frame it just like you would a question about a food allergy or a pet. The more we ask, the more normal it becomes. It isn't about judgment. It's about protecting your kids. The Be Smart campaign, for example, advocates for this as a key part of responsible parenting. Third, for gun owners, the holidays demand extra diligence. If you're hosting, you're responsible for everyone's safety. This means before anyone arrives, every firearm you own is secured. It means remembering that your familiar home is new, explorable world for a visiting child. And it means absolutely no alcohol if you plan on handling a firearm for any reason. These aren't burdens. They are the basic duties of gun ownership. They are the steps we take to make sure our right to own a gun doesn't take away someone else's right to live. So the holidays are for making memories, not for mourning preventable losses. The warmth, the laughter, the togetherness, none of it has to be compromised by safety. In fact, real safety makes it all better, allowing us to relax knowing our loved ones are protected. The data shows a clear pattern of risk, but it also shows a clear path to prevention. Secure storage. Open conversation aren't political statements. They are practical, life-saving tools. They aren't just statistics. They are stories of families changed forever during what should have been the happiest time of the year. But they don't have to be our stories. We have the knowledge and the tools to write a different ending. This year, As you gather with your family, think about the safety of our environment. Have the conversations that matter, and let's make sure the only tragedies are running out of dessert or a lopsided football game. Sharing this video could be the most important gift you give this holiday season. It costs nothing, but the awareness spreads could save a life. Let's make sure our holiday tables are full and that no seat is left empty because of a preventable tragedy. What are your thoughts on how we can make holidays safer for everyone? Share your ideas respectfully in the comments below.